What's going on today, guys? Primal Sabbath here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Generation Selects Nightbird. This is when I regret my choice to stick with a black background, but, hey, what do you do? So, this is Nightbird, and honestly, I was surprised that they went, full-on, completely black alt mode here. I really expected more of this kind of dark gray color all throughout. Don't get me wrong, aesthetically, it pleases me 100%. So, that's not a complaint by any stretch. So I do dig that. You lose a lot of the details in all this kind of glossy black plastic, but I mean, I feel like that's kind of part and part of it, you know what I mean? Because she's supposed to be, very ninja-like and things like that. So this is one I plan on picking up 3 more at some point in the future. Nightbird I was excited to get just because of the role she played in 3H Wreckers comics. So it was kind of like a Legion of Nightbird. I may go and pick up the Legends RC repaint version of it, just to kind of be like the squad leader or whatever. Although, with that being said, I don't particularly think that one. I think this one looks better, in my opinion. Maybe and looking better, that's all totally subjective. But I like the way this looks. I didn't like the way this kind of base mold. This is the Chromia. This isn't the Moonracer or whatever, or Lancer or Greenlight or what have you. I thought that the Chromia kind of retool, re-engineer, whatever, looked a lot better in robot mode with the way the legs clean up, and there's no combiner port anywhere or whatever. I don't know. It's strange, little subtle differences, but I do prefer it. These little canister pieces can pop out, and I was thinking maybe you could kind of tab them on there, but you really can't. You really can't do much with these. I don't know. Maybe you could plug them in there. This is just if I can criticize the figure for a moment, this is really the only kind of spot that I found for these. I'm sure this is where they're, supposed to go. But yeah, I don't like how these hands just kind of hang out back there. Not a fan. Maybe, I don't think I'm doing anything wrong. I don't think that, something's supposed to pop up and close those or anything, but I don't like it. I wish there was a better storage for the weapon too. It would be dope if it could have just plugged in somewhere back here to be I don't know, an exhaust port or something. Humor me with some simplicity. But anyways, it didn't, and you don't even have to store these things. You can leave them in the box. I didn't show the box. Speaking of the box, I didn't show the box for Zatar, and I'm not showing the box for Nightbird because it's just your standard figure subscription service box. And yeah, another just small gripe, I guess. It's like the reverse. They put the pop-in peg on the inside instead of on the inside of the wheel well instead of on the inside of the wheel, so you see this wheel rolling, and it's just some. I don't know. I don't like that pressure thing showing on the outside. Not a fan of it. Makes sense for it to be like that on this side because the wheels are kind of covered, but even then, it kind of doesn't, just because, now that the wheels are hollow on the outside. It's dumb. Whatever. But anyways, that's it for Nightbird. Let's get her into robot mode, and let's finish this thing up. Alright, so here's Nightbird in her robot mode, and let's go ahead and focus on these little weapon bits real quick. So, couple of things you can do is you can just keep this party train going all the way. So you got that. This also pops off. I think I showed that earlier. Or if you want to, this is kind of how I prefer the gun. You can, and real quick, the yellow paint is a little sloppy in here. You can see how it kind of just got on those pegs. I don't expect a whole lot out of it, but, come on. Do better. But I think, let's see. Oh, where'd you go? Okay, yeah. So you gotta kind of do it this way. One way or another, I think it's gonna be backwards. Maybe doing it this way is... Okay, yeah. No. Yes? No. Alright. So you're gonna boom there. There's okay, yeah. So, all right, do that backwards. That up like that, and then spin this around. This will kind of become a scope, which is neato. And okay, maybe it was the other way. All right, so do this. Yeah, there we go. All right, so we'll do that like that. Yeah, okay, I got it. It's fine. I got it. We're good. I got this. We're good. Okay, there we go. So yeah, all right. So you can kind of have this kind of crazy double barrel rifle, other than the fact that the scope looks like it's gonna go pew pew as well. But you can do that, like if you want to, and that's kind of just how I prefer to do it. Also, something that if you want to, these little kind of rectangular pegs. Now we all grew up with a little cube that you put the 3D shapes in, so square or round hole, if you want to call that round, square peg. It actually works. So I'm pretty sure Hasbro even made that little toy, and they're not keeping any continuity here at all with this square peg round hole nonsense. But they fit, and you can kind of turn them to, fit whatever look you're kind of wanting to go for if you want to do that. So you do have that as an option, and you got some weapon storage back there if you want to do that. This isn't the most secure little scope thing either. And of course you can plug the little effects pieces on the tips there if you want to. But ultimately I do like to kind of just have the BFG thing going on. So that's just kind of what I roll with. And it'll fit in her hand just fine. So there's that. If you want to do that, you can do that. My buddy Christian said, he was kind of like, well, I wish they would have just given her new weapons. I agree with that. Just some ninja. It doesn't even have to be Sai. It could have just been like typical ninja weapons. I think a couple of Shapeways folks and Non-F are probably working on some weapons and stuff right now. So there's that. Now let's get into some praises. So she's got some ankle tilt, which is nice, super nice ankle tilt. So I do like that. You can get you can get more out of her than you thought. She's also got the front and back to kind of help it out. I like that. Anyone who's got the Chromia, you're going to know all this stuff way before I did, but I thought that was a pleasant surprise. Also, again, why I prefer this kind of Chromia tooling over the old ones is this kibble will sit up here now, and I think on the old one it was kind of down like that, and it was just a much, can't even see it, a much chunkier bottom leg. I just didn't like it. I mean, don't get me wrong, this is still chunky, but it's kind of stylistically chunky, if that makes any sense. My buddy Angry Mike, who's also on Stasis Lock, asked me if my legs were loose or if the head was loose. The head isn't loose. It's got a little give to it, but it's it'll hold no matter what position I kind of put it in, and the legs are all fine. The only thing that's loose, this, kind of has, I can feel it kind of catching in some areas. This is tight, and it kind of soft clicks in. This one is just nothing. No soft click in, nothing. I may try to get in here and push this pin down, because I got a feeling it may have something to do with the pin in there. But other than that, I mean, it stays. It's not, it's not flopping down or anything. It's just a minor kind of nitpick thing that I could have with it. And transforming it the first time, I really had to put some torque getting this hand in particular to move in. Other than that, it's, like I said, I think it's aces. And also, I really like the head sculpt on this. I mean, it's just Nightbird. How hard could it have been, right? But I've always kind of liked the Nightbird head sculpt a lot. And I feel this mold better fits that whole ninja assassin vibe that this character has and this character is supposed to have. So I dig it. That said, the Legends version is far more accurate. You're going to get a lot more bang out of your buck for that if you're more of a fan of that kind of slavish G1 stuff. This looks like a stylized update of this character. You know, I mean, yeah, you got a lot of stuff going on back here, but it's not enough to hate. At least not enough for me to hate. You kind of get screwed on some waist articulation in here, just because like this piece, everyone's seen the memes, everyone's got Facebook. We're all childish, we know. And then like the other rotation part up here is all locked in, so you can't really do any of that, turn any of that. But other than that, I can't really hate it. The paint I think is good. You kind of like, it's molded in this sort of gray, but we also get a more metallic version of that gray up here on the chest and the shoulders, and I like it. I kind of wish we would have got some of that on the head maybe, but I think the matte gray and the metallic gray clash in a way that I find personally acceptable. The only thing that I find unacceptable is we have this stamp in here. Like, this isn't a production sample, this is a production piece. And then you have a painted stamp. So you've got painted stamp, and then you've got like actual stamped into plastic stamp. I never understood like why they would do that sort of thing, but maybe it's so they can kind of better track QC. You know, what do I know? I'm just a consumer. So all right, that is it. Let's go ahead and get our gun in here. So that's it for Nightbird. Out of the two, as far as standalone figures goes, she's definitely my favorite. This kind of batch of Generations selects, she is definitely my favorite. Whenever you kind of like bring in this guy, Zaytar. I'm assuming it's a guy. You know, don't break my balls over it if it's actually a she. So yeah. That's Nightbird. I dig it, man. Like, if I had to choose one, I would definitely choose Nightbird. Again, I'm going to buy a couple more of these to stick them in my 3H, Evil People shelf. Even though she never really gave those wreckers a problem or anything, I just really like that story, and I think that that particular shelf like could use a lot more troopers. There's like no troops on it, and there's like, it's like the wreckers going up against Cyclonus and Cryotech. It's nonsense. But yeah, this I really do like. This is, in my opinion, this would be, I should say, Eric B. Deskbot approved. So anyways, I know I've been droning on a long time about it. Thanks for watching, and you should check out Stasis Lock every Wednesday night on this channel at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I will see you guys. I'll keep uploading Beast Machines Dinobots reviews. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.